Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome. It's a day late, but welcome to day one of our look at some of the most important albums in the history of heavy rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. So those albums that really helped shape what we now know as hard rock and heavy metal, but some of the most important albums, what I think are the most important albums, the 30 most important albums in the history of hard rock and metal, as I've struggled over the last 24 hours plus with food poisoning. Was pretty much incapable of doing this yesterday morning. I was able to get through the Hudson Valley Squares last night, but I figured, you know what, let me just rest up a little bit more, and I'll give you two on day two. So you're going to have two of these today. So this is actually supposed to be day one. So we're going to look at an album that, for me, I think is one of the first ever albums where this thing called kind of hard rock kind of started to formalize. Some things happening on this record, I think, that were pretty groundbreaking in terms of what we would see going forward. I'm talking about the second album, 1967, November 2nd, 1967, released on the Reaction label, produced by Felix Pappalardi. The second album from Cream, Disraeli Gears. Of course, this is the supergroup featuring Eric Clapton on guitars and vocals, Jack Bruce on bass and vocals, and Ginger Baker on drums. So, a band that when they first formed, all three of these guys had extensive careers in blues and, rhythm and blues and bits of jazz and whatnot, and they came together. The first album, Fresh Cream, is much more of kind of like a blues album. I had lots of jams and things like that, but it's on this second album where they embraced psychedelia and started mixing the blues and little bits of the jazz and the psych, and all of a sudden this kind of like heavy rock thing started to happen. The band starting to utilize things like distortion and fuzz and effects and wah-wah pedals and things like that. You've got really cool songs like Strange Brew and, of course, Sunshine of Your Love, that big heavy riffing on that song, right? Never really heard things like that before. You've got Tales of Brave Ulysses and Swallower, We're Going Wrong, Outside Woman Blues, right? So psychedelic, yes, but certainly bluesy and heavy in spots. And this, I think, would kind of open the doors for lots of bands to follow in their wake, including the one that we're going to talk about, tomorrow. I was going to say tomorrow, but momentarily, because it would have been today's, but this was your one for yesterday. So, yeah, Cream, groundbreaking band for sure. I think also a band that would live open it up for tremendous amounts of improvisation and soloing from all three members of the band. And that's something we would see all throughout, like the 70s especially, where you had these, powerful, louder bands having guitar solos and bass solos and drum solos and keyboard solos, right? Cream were doing it. This is kind of the band that started it all. So, yes, so one of the most important bands in the history of heavy music, Cream, and their second album, Disraeli Gears. That is my choice for today at number one from 1967. Stay tuned for part two of this. We got 30 parts in this series, so stay tuned each and every day for more selections of what I feel are some of the most important albums in the history of hard rock and heavy metal. So thanks for watching. I am Pete Pardo. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Stay tuned for more. And what else we got coming up? We got in the Prog Seat coming up tonight, Tuesday night show. Our favorite. Each one of us. Sorry, it's been a rough last couple of days. Each one of us are going to pick our top 5 favorite prog rock, fusion, prog metal guitar solos of all time. So some of our favorite players, some of our favorite solos. That's what we're doing tonight. So stay tuned for that later on, and more of these coming up. See you real soon. Bye.